This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
This is the late night news on NDTV Hindu. I am Evelyn Matthew.
The master craftsman of Tamil Nadu politics has now put the ball in PMK's court. I am Lokpriya and I'll get you the details of what the DMK patriarch Karunanidhi has said about the alliance with the Patali Makkal Katchi.
Well, plenty of political, entertainment as well as national news headed your way in the next 30 minutes. But before that, a look at our top stories tonight. The DMK chief stops short of shutting his doors to the PMK on an alliance with the PMK. He says the question does not arise. Corporal punishment gone too far. A 12-year-old in Kadalur town dies after being hit several times. His mother says she was not informed at all. Chennai's parents and students are disturbed and angry. They condemn the shameful act, saying it can have worse impacts.
அவங்க யாரையா புடிச்சு வெளியில வந்துருவாங்க அதனால என்ன ஆயிடுது மக்களுக்கு வந்து என்ன வேணா பண்ணலாம் எது வேணா பண்ணலாம்னு நினைக்கிறாங்க
Amma weaves her backup plan and welcomes new entrants from the DMK into the AIADMK with arms wide open. It's back to school for the sub-inspectors of the state. The men in khaki brush up their soft skills for better image building with the public. 6 Chennaiites receive a humbling homecoming in the city as they flee a trouble-torn Egypt.
We are so happy that we are going to meet our families.
And we take you to the town that never sleeps. It's also Junior Arigiri's first solo venture in film production. Let's also bring you the rest of the day's news nationally. Global concerns over oil prices trigger a sell-off on Dalal Street. Sensex closes below 18k for the first time since the 31st of August. Protests in Cairo and Alexandria gain momentum. Close to 1 million people gather to push for Mubarak's ouster. A second special Air India flight brings Indians home from Cairo. Passengers allege they were overcharged, but the government says no. Dramatic footage reveals the actual collision between the INS Vindhyadari and a merchant ship. Gujarat's Chief Minister Narendra Modi accuses the centre of losing its grip over left-wing extremism. Home Minister counters him. And ahead of the World Cup, Captain Dhoni says India, for a change, aren't the underdogs in the tournament. On to our top story this hour. In a swiftly changing political temperature in the state, the DMK chief Karunanidhi stopped short of shutting his doors to the PMK. Just 2 days ago, Karunanidhi announced in Delhi that the PMK would fight the upcoming assembly polls with the DMK-led alliance, but PMK chief Dr. Ramados then denied this, saying the party was yet to decide. PMK has a strong presence in the Vaniyar community, dominated the North Tamil Nadu. Although the PMK fought the 2006 assembly polls with the DMK, it switched to the AIADMK camp for the last Lok Sabha polls, only to draw a blank.
சந்தர்ப்ப சூழல்கள் அவர்கள் சார்பில் பொறுப்பிலே உள்ளவர்கள் எங்களிடம் உள்ள தொடர்புகள் இவற்றை வைத்து பாமகவும் திமுக கூட்டணியில் இடம்பெறக்கூடும் என்பதை டெல்லியிலே அனுமானமாக கூறியது. அதே பாட்டாளி மக்கள் கட்சி தலைவர் மறுத்திருக்கிறார் என்பதை நானும் டெல்லி பத்திரிகையிலே பார்த்தேன்.
Meanwhile, on the issue of seat sharing with the Congress party, the Chief Minister said that there were no talks yet and that committees will be formed to discuss the arrangement.
காங்கிரஸும் திமுகவும் அணி சேர்ந்து இந்த தேர்தலில் போட்டியிடுவது என்பது உறுதி செய்யப்பட்டிருக்கிறது. எத்தனை இடங்கள் யார் யாருக்கு எது அந்த தொகுதிகள் என்பனவற்றை திமுக தேர்தல் பணிக்குழுவோடு கலந்து பேசி திமுகவும் காங்கிரசும் அந்த விவரங்களை பிறகு அறிவிக்கும்.
And our reporter Lokpriya now joins us live from our studios. She's been tracking this fresh twist from the ruling party's camp. Lokpriya, quite an interesting twist to the affair between the PMK and the DMK. But how do political critics really look at the recent comments from the Chief Minister now?
Yes, Evelyn, it is a lot of twists and turns to the DMK-PMK saga, if we can call that. Well, the political analysts say that after Ramdas refuted that Karunanidhi has just expressed his wish and we are yet to decide on the alliance, to this statement of Ramdas, when journalists posed the question whether the alliance still continues, he said that he made an assumption statement on arriving at Delhi based on the communication he had with the PMK party. And he also said that he made this that he came to know about Ramdas' reply only from the newspaper, and now he says that he doesn't have anything to say on that. So he basically, he's pushing the ball on the PMK's court now. It is now for the PMK to decide upon the alliance basically, because we can see from the indications in the past, both the DMK and PMK have been giving indications of forming an alliance in the upcoming assembly polls. And we need to remember that PMK was given about 31 seats last year in 2006. So the PMK is really very keen on numbers. They do not want to go into an alliance with less number of seats. And at this point of time, the DMK is not ready to give PMK more number of seats, because at this point it is more wanting to satisfy the Congress by giving more number of seats there at this point of time. So it looks like the DMK has put the ball on PMK's court, and now it's up to Ramdas of how he actually comes back and partnership with Karunanidhi and how this whole thing is going to go about. It's going to be interesting to see how the DMK and PMK are going to come back or not. That's for something time to tell, Evelyn.
Right, clearly the number game taking over and being the undertone for such remarks, but the Chief Minister once again playing riddler. Thanks very much indeed, Lokpriya, for joining us with your inputs. Now today we also bring you the fight of a family in Cuddalore who believed their son was a victim of corporal punishment. This is our campaign, Justice for Alvin Jose. Well, the mourning parents of 12-year-old Alvin of Cuddalore district have been inconsolable ever since their little boy breathed his last night. The St. Joseph High Secondary School student was hit severely near his forehead, allegedly by his hostel warden. In fact, there were repeated complaints earlier that the warden had been physically abusing the deceased over the last 1 week. Ever since, the angry residents of the district have been staging protests and blocking the roads in the area. The police have filed an FIR which says that it is a case of unnatural death. While the district officer has promised action, the principal and the warden of the area have been named suspects in the FIR, but posters condemning the particular school and the act have been plastered across Cuddalore. But there is a wave of growing support from his friends, well-wishers as well as politicians from the district at Alvin School as well as the hospital.
போன வாரத்துல வந்து பார்த்துட்டு போனேன் என் புள்ளைய நல்லா தான் இருந்தா எங்களுக்கு இவங்க ஆனா எதுவுமே சொல்லலைங்க ஆனா வாடனை அடிக்கிறான்னு தான் சொன்னான் எப்ப போனாலும் இன்னும் 3 மாசம் இரு சாமி நான் வந்து இட்டுன்னு போய் பக்கத்திலே வச்சுக்கிறேன்னு சொன்னேன் அதுக்குள்ளே என் பிள்ளை எப்படி பண்ணிட்டாங்க எங்களுக்கு ஒரு போன் கூட பண்ணலைங்க அவங்க எதுவுமே சொல்லல செத்து தூக்கிட்டு வந்து ஆஸ்பத்திரியில வச்சுட்டு எங்களுக்கு போன் பண்றாங்க நேரம் ஹாஸ்பிட்டலுக்கு வந்து பார்த்தா என் புள்ள செத்து கிடக்குது எனக்கு ஒரு புள்ள சாமி இனிமே எனக்கு என்ன இருக்குது ஒண்ணு இல்ல.
Well, like that bereaved mother, this incident has definitely got every parent in the city as well angry, disturbed and vocal about the fact that corporal punishment could still be meted out on students. Here's in fact some of the reactions we've been gathering from the different parts of the city.
They may not need to hit children. There can be so many other ways of helping children to grow into better people. It's very unfortunate to know that a child has been given corporal punishment and he has died.
அவங்க மேல எந்த ஆக்ஷனும் இவ எடுக்கிறது இல்ல. அவங்க யாரையா பிடிச்சி வெளியில வந்துருவாங்க. அதனால என்ன ஆயிடுறது? மக்களுக்கு வந்து என்ன வேணா பண்ணலாம், எது வேணா பண்ணலாம்னு நினைக்கிறாங்க. ஒரு டீச்சரா இருக்கிறவங்க அவங்க தான் முதல்ல அந்த குழந்தையை நல்வழிப்படுத்தணும். அவங்களே இந்த மாதிரி வன்முறையை கையாண்டா நாட்டில் வந்து ஃபியூச்சர்ல ரொம்பவே ப்ராப்ளம் வரும்.
கண்டிப்பா டீச்சர்ஸுக்கு கண்டிக்கணும். அதை வந்து அடிக்கிற விதமா கண்டிக்காம கண்டிக்கிற விதமா கண்டிக்கணும். பேரண்ட்ஸ் அதாவது அடிக்கக்கூடாது, பசங்களை வந்து டீச்சர்ஸ் வந்து அடிக்காம கண்டிக்கணும்.
பொறுப்பாகவும் நடந்துக்கலாம், அதே சமயம் பொறுமையாகவும் நடந்துக்கணும். டீச்சர்ஸ்ன்றது வந்து பேரண்ட்ஸ் வந்து பிள்ளைங்களை ஸ்கூலில் விடும்போது அவங்க எப்படி வந்து ஒரு பேரண்ட்ஸாகவே ஸ்கூலில் நடக்கணும். கண்டிப்பாக ஒரு டீச்சர்ஸ் படிப்பும் சொல்லித்தரனா பேரண்ட்ஸாகவும் இருக்கணும். இருந்தால் தான் வந்து நல்லது. ஆனால் அடிக்கக்கூடாது பிள்ளைங்களை.
அதாவது இப்போ ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து we want the teachers, second we go to the higher authority, to the administrators. அடிக்கக்கூடாதுன்னு ஜியோவாக இருக்குது. இப்போ கூட லேட்டஸ்ட்டாக இங்கே கூட ஒரு ஏதோ சொன்னாங்கன்னு சொல்லி நான் வார்ன் பண்ணிட்டு வந்தேன் டீச்சர். அது ஸ்டூபிட் இடியட்லாம் சொன்னாங்க, டோன்ட் யூஸ் ஆல் த ஹார்ஷ் வேர்ட் சொல்லிட்டு வந்தேன். என்ன நினைக்கிறாங்களோ as which they are doing this, we don't like people doing this. ஏன்னா அவங்க டீச்சர்ஸும் ஒரு பேரண்ட் தானே, on where they put the children.
The shock hasn't spared the student community either. Boys and girls who are pretty much Alvin's age have spoken up about the rash way of treatment in such a case.
Corporal punishment definitely needs to be condemned because it mentally, if not physically, even mentally it disturbs a student, as in it puts more pressure, and that is just not the right way to motivate a child. A child should be spoken to, should be made to understand the pros and cons of doing something, because even when you hit a child or give corporal punishment, it gives him the wrong idea that if somebody else does something wrong, he can do the same thing. Probably he will resort to hitting another child when he does something wrong. So it's a wrong message that's being sent across to the youth today.
Corporal punishments shouldn't be given to children because it will have a bad impact on their mental health, and teachers should find a more better way of bringing out their message to the children, because some kids, they need to be told more than once, and corporal punishments are having a very bad effect on the kids nowadays, and these kind of news and all are really very disheartening.
Well, let's only hope that the investigation really reveals the truth and justice is delivered to the deserving. Up ahead on the late night news, the men in khaki get a lesson on being the friendly cop in the neighborhood. It's back to school for the city cops. That's when we come back.